No grief for lips.
I'm wearing black underwear.
Come over here. Some girls, they like candy, and others, they like to grind. I'll settle for the back of your hand, somewhere on my behind.
Hi, Pop Kids. CK1 here, back with the Notorious J.A.M. for part 2 of our
You can just spank me.
bonus Madonna movie cast.
Some guys like to sweet talk.
This one's covering Dick,
They like to tease.
Tracy,
Tie my hands behind my back, and ooh, I'm in ecstasy.
yeah, it's technically 90s. I don't care.
Can get that from my sisters before I get too cranky. You better like hanky panky. Nothing like a good spanky.
Here we go!
Madonna. She's turned the music world upside down. She's starring with Warren Beatty in Dick Tracy.
Yeah, man. I like Dick.
She's Breathless Mahoney. If looks could kill, she'd be public enemy number 1. Dick Tracy, coming soon to a cinema near you.
It's a 1990 film, but hey, we've been doing films from the year 1990. So that's all right. You know,
I mean, it was certainly
fudge it a
recorded.
bit.
It had to have been filmed in 89 to some extent. So I think it counts, as always.
Right. It's kind of like Who's That Girl? It's cartoonish.
Mhm.
This is more blatantly our comic book.
Warren Beatty really was dedicated to sticking with basic color palette of the comic strip.
Too bad I didn't have those dots, right?
The dots, I think it was quite effective, though. The lighting of that movie was considerably one of its greatest attributes.
First, natural, I thought this was New York City as well, but I don't know where Dick Tracy takes place. I mean, does he have like a Metropolis or Gotham?
I think it's supposed to be a generic Chicago.
Dick Tracy, created by Chester Gould, takes place in an unnamed major metropolitan area often simply referred to as the city, with heavy influences from Chicago.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed this one. Weird, though, like, I watch it every so often over the years. You know, I enjoyed the movie when I was a kid, but as we've discussed, it was so in the wake of Batman, it was just not quite as good. But coming back to it now, realizing just how much the thematics are of an adult persuasion, it connected a little more with me this time.
Comparing Batman, I think that's an obvious thing because that's what they were going for. It's sort of maybe a bit of a darker comic book, and yet it was heavily promoted, like with McDonald's.
What can you win in McDonald's Dick Tracy game?
Nothing, see? We got it all. All the cash, all the food.
Nonsense. There's still millions of food and cash prizes waiting to be won.
Hey, I got a winner!
There was lots of paraphernalia.
I want to say I remember hearing that like as much money went into promotion as did production. $60 million both ways. And I think people got overexposed to it.
So, like as a kid, let's see here, how old was I then? I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
I was not much of a Dick Tracy fan. I remember seeing him in the funnies, the serials. It would just be a few panels and then it's continued to next time. And I just didn't really get into it or the character. And so I didn't really care to see it. As opposed to Batman, I was excited for that because I really liked the TV show, you know, the campy Adam West version of Batman. And when I went to see that movie, I was very disappointed. You know, even being 11 or 12, it was a bit slow and dark.
Very dark.
I wanted kind of a whiz bang, like the
Pow.
Christopher Reeve. Yeah, pal. Like or like the Christopher Reeve Superman. A protagonist that you really wanted to root for because he had charisma. And I feel like Michael Keaton didn't. Then when I saw similar vibes being pushed for Dick Tracy, I didn't really care.
You know, I've never heard someone say that as much. You really wanted the Adam West caliber Batman.
Well, maybe not even Adam West, but somebody, okay, like there was a lot of promotion behind Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves as well, which came out maybe a year after this. That was also a darker film that the lead actor just didn't have much charisma, Kevin Costner. He was a bit more soft-spoken, and I heard it said that maybe Kurt Russell would have been a better pick because he's more of a Errol Flynn, swashbuckling
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of.
Yeah, unfiltered.
He's kind of, enjoying the adventure while you're going along with it.
Right.
So.
Kurt Russell's hilarious, incidentally. In all his movies, he's just Kurt Russell.
Kind of like the Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It's a winning formula.
But we're digressing from Dick Tracy. Yeah, I mean, Warren Beatty, he was...
No, it's an interesting perspective. And it makes me think, it's like, was it sort of a premonition of the sort of 90s malaise, things like My So-Called Life and all this moody subsequently, and, even into like grunge music, that sort of malaise and darkness on the horizon.
Maybe it was a backlash against the colorful party that was the 80s.
Yeah.
More cynicism. And so if we're going to be doing a comic book, it needs to be done more maybe edgy. This is really the right
edgy
word.
And more contemplative, perhaps, because as I understand it, the reason Warren Beatty took the helm, it was a personal matter. He's this legendary bachelor for 3 decades. And if you look at the movie, it's like reflecting on, should I settle down? Like, family life is kind of cool when you've got at least a couple people who really care about you. And honestly, that idea holds up because having looked at certain reviews, there's a lot of prevailing complaints that this story isn't very substantial, that there's like no people in the city. Dick Tracy.
Is this a major metropolis? There was like no traffic. It was like a play.
There's nothing but cops and robbers in the world except for, Tess. And I think that prevailing theme of emptiness sort of makes it all effective.
Warren Beatty was 52 at the time. Maybe there was a bit of seriousness of middle age contemplation, like you said. There was a little bit of that romantic love triangle.
Oh, absolutely.
But was he really that into Madonna? It just seemed she was just forcing herself on him, like instantly.
She was a hustler, She was working both sides and got, the better of him, so to speak.
Yeah, so this is the major spoiler, right?
Yeah.
Will you look at that?
It's time we let it out, everybody, that...
You're right, Tracy. I couldn't pull the trigger.
It was a good plan, Breathless. You almost pulled it off. The city would have been yours.
Yeah, you were my only mistake.
I mean, that does make sense. Her ploy was to be Big Boy's side lady or mistress, and at the same time seduce Dick Tracy.
Are you gonna make a move? Do I have to do everything?
I'm on duty.
What's your day off?
Sunday.
It's a big world. Must be Sunday somewhere.
So that way she could use her sex appeal as a means to become the #1 crime boss in town. I think she overplayed it with Dick.
Well, it got her killed, so...
But at the end she hesitated, so she really did have feelings for him.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth. Could it ever have happened between us?
What's that called? The redemption arc, when someone does something shitty and in their like last breath, they redeem themselves. She sort of fulfilled that.
Well, I don't know. It was just a hesitation, though. Didn't she shoot anyway before the kid tackled her?
But who's that girl? She was the whimsical pixie. This time she was the femme fatale. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like color palette, the matte paintings, like everything about it.
Yeah, stylistically, it was impressive.
It actually reminded me of. Have you seen the movie Third Man?
That's an older one, like black and white.
Yeah. Orson Welles, post World War II. It was actually like filmed in the ruins of World War II. Austria.
Yeah. So it was Vienna.
Throughout Dick Tracy, there's that Dutch angle where the like camera's tilted. And you can like see through spaces to other spaces, and it's very chaotic and conducive to a very like confused state.
Well, that's like a trope from the Batman TV show too.
Sure.
When they were showing the villains, they would do that. They would tilt it.
Right.
To even where when Adam West was on The Simpsons, they framed it that way too.
Adam West! Hey kids, Batman!
Dad, that's not the real Batman.
Of course I'm Batman. See, here's a picture of me with Robin.
Who the hell's Robin?
So I was fairly bored, kind of like with Batman, until the final 30 minutes. When he's framed, he's thrown in jail. After that, it picks up the last sequence, the final act.
It's very much like Batman in that respect. They're always trying to frame him, trying to like cast a bad light on him.
It was kind of strange about the way the goal, they were trying to get a witness. All they needed to put Big Boy away was a witness. You know, witnesses are like the least reliable form of evidence, but maybe that's just kind of the minimum requirement that the justice system would need. Then the big scheme that Dick had was to bug Big Boy's HQ. And so you think that, well, there they got the dirt on him because they have all these recordings of him saying what he's doing. So I didn't really find that too compelling.
I don't know. It sort of made Mandy Patinkin's character a little more interesting. The Inigo Montoya, he was the piano player. There was that scene where he's yelling into the bug.
But then the final, this was maybe Breathless, her ploy, was to frame Big Boy as a kidnapper.
What is this? It's Tracy's day. What's she doing here? How's she doing here?
And he's freaking out.
It's a frame up! Somebody try to make it look like we kidnapped him!
And so he's panicking. It's just like with all the other crimes you've committed, why are you freaking out over this kidnap?
They say I kidnapped you. I didn't kidnap you, but I'm kidnapping you now.
I don't know. I think it was to make No Face even more diabolical. Like she was playing both sides and getting the best of both sides. But yes, that was a prevailing complaint that the plot was a little insubstantial.
Stuff's happening, but it's...
Yeah. Again, I find it ultimately effective to the whole motivation for doing the movie. It's like all this hoopla between factions and nothing really at stake except the few people that care about you.
What do you think about Al Pacino?
I thought it was great. I like his sort of grotesque hunchback appearance. He was always like lurking and very physical. He's like yelling in all of his scenes. I forget the scene, but he's at the table with the gangsters and he's like,
Boonface, you tossed a firebomb in my car one night. Give me a lot of trouble, but I forgive you.
Very funny. He got an Oscar nomination for that. Rightfully so, even if he did considerably reprise his character from Scarface, but this time he sort of embraced his actual Italian heritage instead of the phony Cuban accents. I thought the cast was amazing. Dustin Hoffman was amazing in it. Especially at the end when he like...
Hey, Keys, the piano man, set you up. Big Boy paid him to get you out of the way.
I love it when a character drops the act.
But that's all they need. They just need that confession.
But Dick Van Dyke, incidentally, 100 years old today. I thought he did a great job.
Wait, who was he in that film?
Dick Van Dyke was the mayoral candidate that didn't
want to... wow. See, they put on so much Hollywood makeup on him. It was really hard to identify. Yeah, I guess if you live in this town, whoever has the weird, the strangest looking faces.
It's the road gallery. These creatures.
They're freakish on the inside and outside, yeah.
That's why I think it was fine that Warren Beatty didn't have any prosthesis because, you know, he's a good-looking guy, and it did very well to distinguish him against the rogues gallery. Kathy Bates was in the movie. She was the stenographer. Remember when Mumbles is giving his... She's like... Dick Tracy's like...
Okay, you heard it, Mrs. Green. That's his testimony. Okay, boys, get him out of here.
His what?
That was Kathy Bates. She was like seated in the shadows.
I don't know if Al Pacino improvised, but it seems like he just wouldn't shut up. I think he just talked too much.
Don't move! Not if you want to stay alive! A woman! A woman! A woman! I've been humiliated by a woman!
When he was dragging Tess around, it just seemed like he was just throwing stuff out.
The way I see it, and Plato agrees with me, is that there is what is, and then there is what we would like it to be. Well, that's not important. What's important is the future.
I did laugh at the...
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm having a thought. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm gonna have a thought. It's coming. It's gone.
Laughed at it, but it's still kind of like, there's not really a point to it.
I get it. He didn't have the considerable stage presence of the Joker, if we can make that direct comparison. But I think it worked. He was supposed to be a little stupid, but somehow still effective. He was stupid, but relentless. I was okay with that. The Oscar nod, sure, but I wasn't too taken by his performance. I mean, it worked in a grotesque way.
I think he felt like, okay, I have to explain why I'm dragging Tess around. And
Believe me, this is not the way I wanted it to be.
Tess isn't really putting up a good fight. You know, it's not like he's the strongest guy, but he's like, oh, the city.
There it is! The city! They'll never find me! Can you hear its beat? Oh, the rhythm! Happy New Year, city!
This is great. No one's going to be able to find me there, you know? And it's just like, I just don't understand.
Truth be told, I've never been a huge Al Pacino fan. And as I understand it, this movie was sort of like his comeback role that sort of catalyzed his shtick for just yelling all the time. But I still think it worked. Again, when I think about why the movie was made, why Warren Beatty wanted to do it, and how, you know, after being a legendary bachelor for 3 decades, he gets married 2 years later and has 4 kids. I think it was a soul-searching endeavor for him. Again, the prevailing theme of emptiness, I think, may extend to Big Boy. Yeah, he's just a big windbag. He's running the show, but he's just a windbag.
Hey, I think it's time for a commercial break.
Such a handsome face. Why do you have to save the human race?
80 of the 80s will be right back after these messages.
Life of crime. No, it never pays. Clean up the streets and make
Extra, extra, read all about it!
In the Dick Tracy game for your Nintendo Entertainment System, Tracy wants to put Al Big Boy Caprice behind bars. And the only way he can do it is by arresting Big Boy's gang one at a time. Then Itchy, Flat Top, and all the rest will turn state's evidence, and it'll be so long, Big Boy. But can Tracy avoid Big Boy's muscle, his snipers, his triggermen? Will he get the clues he needs, or will he just get it? Find out next time. From Bandai.
Calling all kids, calling all kids. The gangsters and other characters from the Dick Tracy movie are on the loose, and you can catch them on these Cap'n Crunch Dick Tracy door hangers. One of 4 different door hangers in each specially marked box of Cap'n Crunch cereal.
This summer, Disneyland turns the spotlight onto America's ultimate crime stopper, Dick Tracy, with a live stage spectacular that brings the magic of the movie to the Magic Kingdom. Meet Blacktop, Mumbles, Big Boy, and Breathless Mahoney as an all-new caper comes to life. It's your chance to even get into the act. If you love the movie, you'll love Dick Tracy live this summer at Disneyland.
You're gonna have to kill me first, Flat Top.
Gary, it's time we had a serious talk.
You're gonna have to kill me first, Flat Top.
Get a grip, Gary.
But you're gonna have to kill me first, Flat Top.
It sounds like fun to me, pal.
You can't do this to me. I'm Dick Tracy.
Kid, you can't beat Dick Tracy by wishing it. You need MTV's help.
MTV's Be Dick Tracy contest. You'll get Tracy's trademark coat and fedora and the famous wrist radio.
Very upsetting.
Pursue your quarry in Tracy's vintage sedan. And for off-duty, something a little flashier. This sleek boat-tail speedster was seized from Breathless Mahoney. Your first case, the exclusive Dick Tracy premiere party at the Disney MGM Studios. The biggest names in Tinseltown will be there. 1 badge, 2 cars, 15 grand. It could be yours, Dick.
You mind if I call you Dick?
MTV's promotion brought to you by M&M's.
I just wanted to thank you for what you lack. hang you. 'Cause you put me back in his mess. This ain't no hit and miss. I'm gonna get my way. 'Cause you put me back.
So how about the kid?
Hey, you got a name?
Kid.
Kid?
I don't like that as much as I like Hook. I forget the actor's name.
Charlie Korsmo's his name.
Yeah. I did a little research, and he did just a handful of movies and then became like an attorney, and only in the last 2 years returned to acting. Frankly speaking, and this is very superficial, I just never liked the look of him.
I agree.
He played the like waif very well. His constant eating.
When do we eat? When do we eat? When do we eat? When do we eat? When do we eat?
And his dirtiness and wariness, it worked, but it was all right. He saved Tracy's ass a couple of times.
There were multiple montages in this film. He was constantly riding on the back of Dick's car.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why they showed him on the back of Dick's car every time is that way when he showed up to save the day in the final moment, then you knew, oh, that's where the kid came from, because he's always hanging around.
He's plucky and he's daring and he's loyal. Perhaps he's a comparable Robin character.
Who the hell's Robin?
If we make another Batman comparison.
I think it's also, they thought it would be a way for the kids, just like maybe we were about his
someone
age.
to connect with. Yeah, that makes sense, especially given, as we have gone back and look at it, it's an extremely adult movie. The interaction between Madonna and Warren Beatty is actually scandalous at moments. And in some ways, especially given the hat motif, Dick Tracy felt like a Temple of Doom adjacent movie. He was sort of the rim shot to Indiana Jones, streetwise, rough and tumble kid who occasionally saves his ass. He's fine, but could the movie have existed without him? I think your point is fair. You've got to have a kid in a movie like that, even if you don't really like that kid.
Sooner or later, you're gonna be mine. Sooner or later, you're gonna be fine.
If I could continue to be critical, there were too many Madonna songs.
Oh, not to interrupt, I love the movie Bugsy Malone. Love it. And that's another gangster musical, a caricature gangster musical. The music is wonderful in that movie, and Dick Tracy was just not far off from it, so I liked it. Especially since Madonna won an Oscar, or at least the songwriter, one of the two, won an Oscar for that song.
Baby, you're mine on a platter. I always get my man.
Furthermore, I found it a very fitting addition to our little triptych, because Certain Sacrifice was like pre-Madonna, no pun intended. She wasn't even going by Madonna, and that movie was attempted, buried in the day, and as I understand it, Madonna is trying to keep it out of public recollection. And then you've got Who's That Girl, where she's sort of an out 1984 pop star Madonna, but by Dick Tracy, that's the height of her power, so to speak. Her confidence.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's not a bad performance from her in that movie. And the songs, I like them, but that is a prevailing complaint that it was too much of a musical.
Right.
And a lot of people hate musicals, so.
Again, the part I like, the last 30 minutes, they have that shootout. Dick Tracy's just standing there with all the Tommy gun bullets are flying by.
Oh, you love a good Tommy gun.
But they keep cutting back to her, to her routine, and it's just why?
It jibes with me. I like it. It's all partying and violence. It's the romance of gangster culture.
Actually, Sooner or Later was written by Stephen Sondheim. I mean, he was a classic American composer for Broadway tunes. When did he die? He died. He died just a few years ago, 91. Yeah, he did West Side Story and
Great choice.
Much other stuff I haven't heard.
Yeah.
It was the 1930s jazz. I don't know if it's ragtime. I'm not.
Yeah, what would you call it? I think it's not quite ragtime. Getting into swing. I don't know. Big band. I think it's big band. But yeah, musicals are a deal breaker to a lot of people.
It is for me too. I often say it's just Willy Wonka. That's it. So of all three movies, I might say I like the music in A Certain Sacrifice the best, excluding Demon Lover, of course. Who's that girl? Actually, the soundtrack did have some good tunes. It is kind of like the glossy, generic late 80s pop, which of course I love a lot of that, but maybe not the best tunes. But Stephen Bray music was punchy.
I'll say it again. That movie sort of haunts me, but I can't stop thinking about it. Even on a technical level, like all the recurring dumb jokes. It's like, wow, that's elegant. There's a certain elegance to it. And I mentioned there's a train chasing scene in both Dick Tracy and Who's That Girl. I don't know quite how to analyze that. Remember the kid is like racing the train when Dick Tracy's chasing him.
Hey, what are you trying to do? You're gonna get hurt, kid.
Psychologically, it's the Freudian interpretation of racing a train. I mean, it's part of the language. Like watching Dick Tracy, I took keen notice of just how sharp that jacket and hat is. And if you look, that's a well-made hat, well-made overcoat. And I was joking. I'm like, that's probably like designed by Hugo Boss. But even better, it was actually designed by this lady named Milena Canonero. And she is the costume designer for basically all the Kubrick movies. Like she did 2001, Clockwork Orange, she did Shining. Like Alex's white suit with the boots and bowler and eyelashes and batons, that was her doing. She designed outfits for many Wes Anderson movies, including Life Aquatic and Budapest Hotel, which is particularly interesting because I think Dick Tracy, in many ways, like a precursor to Wes Anderson directorship in terms of showcasing accoutrements, like the opening scene where there's the gun and the badge and the watch. That's like straight Wes Anderson.
Right.
The use of color is straight Wes Anderson's. Dick Tracy is more culturally important than it gets credit for.
I guess all the celebrity cameos, quirky, one-note personalities.
Seriously, if we're going back to Batman, in some ways, Dick Tracy is the better movie. As I look at it technically, even from a production point of view, the lighting in Dick Tracy is masterclass. The matte paintings are beautiful.
Whose side are you on?
Side I'm always on. Mine.
Not gonna lie, Madonna was pretty hot in that.
Really?
I thought so, bro.
She was she was made up. She had a nice body, and I think, and we've talked about, I think she's just kind of 5 out of 10.
I get it. The bleach blonde look is not for everyone, and that's what she sort of leaned into for a solid decade. But the on-screen chemistry was there. And that scene where...
No grief for lips?
I'm wearing black underwear.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, that is funny. There were some funny lines. Yeah.
It's like,
you know, it's legal for me to take you down to the station and sweat it out of you under the lights.
I sweat a lot better in the dark.
That's fucking hot, bro. Hot. It's hot.
I guess I'm more of a test guy.
I know, like realistically,
especially now that I'm older, you know.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But for the wiles of a femme fatale, she exhibited them to the end, to her demise, really. What goon was your favorite?
So the flat top guy didn't really have many lines, but it seemed like their camera was always focused on him, you know?
Yeah.
Or I guess he was the kind of the side man, like all the other villains who looked really odd.
Prune face.
And Flat Top is the henchman, always right next to Big Boy. And it's just like you think, like, hey, give me a little personal space here. I need a little time away from you.
Who's the guy from Batman? Lloyd, the blonde guy. You know what I'm talking about? The long-haired blonde guy.
I haven't seen Batman like 40 years or something.
Oh, man.
So I just don't. When did it come out? 35 years ago? Or whenever it came out. It was last time
I think his name was Lloyd.
His name was Lloyd.
And, you know, there's a scene where something happens, like Batman steals the balloons and he's like,
Bob? Gun.
Hands him his gun, and then he gets shot with his own gun. Flat Top was sort of the Lloyd
Bob?
of the movie. Man, yeah, that movie was really trying to, no pun intended, gun down Batman. It's like, oh, you got Prince, we got Madonna. It's like
And Prince, I think he phoned in that soundtrack.
See, that's another reason I think Dick Tracy might be better, because the music is more integrated. It's more meaningful to the story.
Yeah, in the period.
Prince was just sort of there. It's like, why is Prince there? Like, I mean, it was cool and all, but, you know, Party Man and Bat Dance are classics, but like Madonna's music actually. I like Party Man and Bat Dance.
Bat Dance, he takes the Adam West. Try to go in the complete. Of course, you can't tell Prince what to do, right? I'm sure Tim Burton said, we want to get as far away from the Adam West campy.
Oh, there's no getting
Batman
away from it.
As possible. And then Prince, in the theme song, goes, that and just a bunch of samples. It's just like a bunch of noise and samples. But yet it was a #1 song because Batman was so hyped at the time.
Again, Dick Tracy might be the better movie, technically speaking. And again, it represents a string of movies that just have no hope of being fully appreciated because they're always going to be in the shadow of something else. You know, there's lots of sequels like that. But yes, I reiterate, the music in Dick Tracy made more sense. Even if you don't like musicals, it was very well tailored to the scenes.
But then the backing instrumental music was Danny Elfman. It sounded just like Batman.
Yes, arguably it was a Batman clone, but I mean, good on him for procuring that. It's a huge question, though. It's how fair is that in the sense of originality to borrow the same composer for the two movies if they are competitors? And yes, they're very comparable. Perhaps the Batman score is just a little better, a little more original, but I am not complaining about Danny Elfman's contribution.
Unlike John Williams, who every theme is a unique thing in itself, I can't really tell the difference between Danny Elfman themes, even like Beetlejuice, except for maybe the Simpsons one.
You know, it's a lot of strings and marimba. You know, Simpsons theme and everything. But people have said the same thing about John Williams, though. There's a comedy troupe. Do you know The Whitest Kids You Know? Have you heard of this show? It came on IFC maybe 15 years ago, but there was a hilarious sketch where you don't know what's going on, but it's just this like old white bearded guy.
No, that's not it. Think, John Williams.
Yeah, right.
Like he's like in his living room, and then it's like showing him going through McDonald's drive-thru, and it's like So a lot of people have criticized John Williams for being pretty formulaic.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking of just the main theme, like the Superman versus Star Wars versus Indiana Jones.
I can't remember
Harry Potter.
Eureka! I did it. Alice, wake up! I finally did it. The perfect wedding theme for when Short Round marries that Ewok.
I know I had a lot of critiques of the film, but that's kind of my nature to pick out the things of it. I like, wait, what's wrong with this? But overall, it was an average film for me. I think the last 30 minutes saved it.
It is considerably garish, and as I described, I generally try to watch movies more than once for these purposes. But Dick Tracy, I could not bring myself to watch a second time, like end to end. I just couldn't. It's too syrupy. It's in its color palette. It's very effective when you look at it. One of its greatest merits is its lighting, and again, the third man Dutch angle. It's like there's a scene of dark room, but then like a a purple window. It's like, what the hell is going on outside to cast that bright purple light? It's like green inside and then red's coming through the window.
Yeah, there was a French film. It was a musical called The Umbrellas of Schonenberg.
Oh,
something.
yeah, I've heard of that.
I mean, I had an ex-girlfriend. That was her favorite movie. And a lot of it was because of the bright colors. The Umbrellas of
Schoenberg, yeah. Compare these two movies, Sin City to Dick Tracy. No, seriously, like, again, it's like we did not appreciate it in the time, the sheer craftsmanship that went into that movie compared to modern movies, because they had the best matte painters, the best lighting people.
This is before computers.
Yes, Sin City. They computer generated most of that movie. This time around, I was keenly sensitive to the sheer craftsmanship of that movie. I think ultimately it comes down to the costumes. Like Batman's costume was absolutely enthralling.
Even though he couldn't turn his neck.
Even so. In fact, that's part of the charm.
I'm being too freaking critical.
No, that's been an enduring complaint about that movie. That's been the joke from day one, that he's got this sort of like Frankenstein.
I thought I was the only one who noticed that.
No, everyone does. I think there's ample interviews about that problem.
Yeah, okay, damn it. I thought I was being clever.
He had to move his whole body to see.
It's like a lot of people complain about the nipples on George Clooney when George Clooney was
that's a valid
Batman.
complaint. That was too much. I don't need a sexualized Batman any more than he already is.
And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Less is more.
But nothing's better than more.
Dick Tracy, I think, was a very well-made film, and it's frankly aged like wine, given the crap that's coming out now with completely digital world.
It's so common for people to complain about any pop culture media that comes out these days, but I always think to myself, well, you can always go to the past and relive this stuff. There's plenty of films and music from the past, so that's okay. It's still out there. It's easy to access.
Right.
When never stop plenty, it's gonna rain, let it pour. Happy with 10, happy with 20. If you like a penny, wouldn't you like many much more?
And you know what else is easy to access? More episodes of 80 of the 80s podcast. And we got episode number 20 of our regular music show coming up in the next 1 to 2 months.
Gotta fill your cupboard, remember Mother Hubbard.
Just go to our site, 80ofthe80s.com. You can also listen to our show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts. Reach out and touch Faith with an email at 80ofthe80s@gmail.com. And we want to be your Facebook friend. Before I go, I also want to give thanks to our guest, the Notorious J.A.M., and another thank you to another guy who goes by initials RBT, who created the artwork for our last 3 episodes. And the biggest thanks to you for your power play.
That though things are bliss, there's one thing